All right. 3.3, solving linear equations in one variable. Definition. A linear equation is an equation with the highest exponent is 1. It is also called a first degree equation. So, example 1, solve the linear equation, and then we're going to check our solution. So, let me get my pen ready. 1 second. Oh, interesting.
All right. Are you good, Kayla? We haven't really done much. I was giving students time to write this slide, and I asked everyone if anyone has any questions or comments or concerns regarding the class. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And one of the questions I will answer for you again was, when is the homework due? And I said, every time we finish a section in class, that assignment will be due by the Sunday coming up. So today we're working on 3.3, right? So after we're done with the notes here, you'll do 3.3 homework by Sunday. Does that make sense? And I wasn't able to do my headphones with um um with my board. So I'm using my computer audio, my computer speakers. Can everyone hear me before I start working out the problem? So I want to make sure before I start. Okay, thank you. All right, let's get started. So example one, solve the equation. Now the biggest goal, whenever you get the component to solve an equation, always draw a line down the equal sign, because this allows us to keep in mind what we do to one side, we're gonna do to the other, right? Now, the objective of solving an equation, guys, is to get all the letters on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So we want to move the A's to the left side. So this is a positive A. So remember, to do the opposite of positive A is going to be a negative A. And what we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. Go ahead and draw your equals, your line there. Now these A's are going to cancel out and bring down the 4, because that's what's left over there. Now 3A take away A, there's an invisible 1 there. So 3 take away 1 is just 2A minus 6. Now remember, the objective is to get A by itself, so I'm going to go ahead and move the 6 over. The opposite of minus 6 is plus 6, and what we do to one side, we do to the other. So that cancels out the 6's. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring down the 2A. 4 plus 6 is 10. Now to finish this off, 2 and A are being multiplied. Remember, the opposite of the times 2 is dividing 2. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. These 2's cancel out. So then we get A equals 5. Now, it wants us to check our solution, right? So what does that mean, right? To check your solution. So write the word check. To check your solution, you have to plug in the solution that we have into the original equation. So it's going to be 3A, but instead of A, it's going to be 5 minus 6 equals A, which is 5 plus 4. And put a question mark on top of the equal sign. Now, the question mark on top of the equal sign is there because we do not know if 5 is a solution. We solved it, right? And we're pretty confident so far, but do we know? No, checking is the thing that kind of solidifies are wondering if we got it correctly, right? Or if you do the online homework, if this is correct, then we're good to go, right? So 5 plus 4 is 9. And then over here, 3 times 5 is 15, take away 6. 15 take away 6 is 9. 9 equals 9 is true. Therefore, A equals 5 is the solution for this equation. What questions do we have on the solving or the checking of this equation and solution? Any questions so far? All right, does anyone need an extra minute to copy this work down before I move on? If I don't hear anything in the chat or see anything in the chat, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. All right, and I can always go back to it, guys. And remember, there is a video on this. All right, practice problem, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 2 minutes to work this one out. Good luck. If you finish, type the solution in the chat, but do not press enter yet. If once you find a solution, make sure and remember how to write a solution. You must include the variable first, x equals. All right, anyone need more time to work on this? All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add another minute or 2 minutes. Good luck. All right, 20 seconds, guys. Get ready to press enter in a few moments. Now, remember, it's okay if you get the wrong answer because we can always discuss about what steps you made incorrectly, and we're here to kind of gain that confidence together, right? Less than 10 seconds. On 5 seconds, press enter. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, everyone. All right. X equals -4, -4, -4. Excellent, guys. If you got X equals -4, you are correct. Now, did anyone check their work? Did anyone check the solution to see if it was, and did you see the true statement that it gave you? It's a little satisfying, right? To see your solution produce that true statement, verifying that you're correct. Good job, Tanya. Thank you. Yes, Brianna, I'm gonna work it out. All right, guys. So it is a practice problem. So I'm gonna write, but I need you guys to unmute yourselves and tell me the steps you would take. Because I already did I worked out my way in the other example. So put the line down the equal sign. So can someone share the first step? How would we get X by itself, guys? What would you do first? Either unmute yourself or type it down in the chat. What is the first step we can take to get X to solve this equation? Now, there's no right formula, right? There's multiple first steps we can take. So if no one volunteers, I'm going to call on students. So do you rather be called randomly or do you want to volunteer? All right. Sarah, what was the first step you took to get the solution? Huh? I can't hear you, Sarah. Can anyone hear Sarah? Hold on. Yeah, it's not working for me either. Yeah, I don't think I can hear y'all, but why? Why can't I hear y'all? Could y'all hear me? Oh, awkward.
Yes,
Can you guys hear me?
his audio isn't working.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear us
Testing.
now?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Sarah. What did you say?
Okay, so we can take 3x from the right side and move it to the left side.
How?
And then also
How did you
so
move it?
so you're gonna take away 3x from there.
Take away. There you go. Okay.
And then also take away 3x on the 7. And then
Good.
you get 4x. And then so you can rewrite it plus 12 equals -4. And
Good.
then what I did is I minus 12 to get it on the other side.
Good.
And then I got -16 on the right side.
Good.
And then 4x, and then I divided it since it's yeah. And then I got -4.
Great. That is great job, Sarah. Great job. All right. So sorry about the audio situation, guys. Don't know what happened. All right. So far so good, guys. Anyone have Brianna, did those steps? Were you able to follow along with us, or do you have any questions about any steps that we took? Okay, awesome. No, thank you for asking though. Speaking up. Not many people do. So thank you. All right, example 2, guys. I'm going to give you about a minute to set this up into your notebook.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So we can combine like terms or no?
Yes, but you can only keep in mind that you can only combine any like terms that are on the left side in the left side. You can only combine like terms that are in the right side. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna
Thank
work it
you.
out just a bit. But no, thank you for your question.
All right. I'm going to get started.
Like Sarah's question said, can we combine like terms? Yes, we can. So on the left side, can anyone tell me what like terms y'all notice? What can we combine on the left side? So the left side says 17 take away 7x plus 3. Anyone want to tell me what exactly? You know, what's an example? I guess I'll do it. So we can't combine 17 and 3 because they're both regular numbers, right? There's no x here. So 17, positive 17 plus 3 is positive 20. Negative 7x is still there. So I'm going to just bring that down. And then on the right side, I can combine the x's, right? Negative 3x, take away 3x is negative 6x, and bring down the plus 21. Now, the goal is to get x's on one side, numbers on the other side. So on the last example, guys, I moved the x to the left side. I'm gonna go ahead and move the x to the right side here to show you. So the opposite of negative 7x is gonna be plus 7x. What we do to one side, we're gonna do to the other. So I'm showing you here that we can move x to the right side if it's easier. So I'm gonna cancel the 7s, bring down the 20. So negative 6, negative 6. I owe 6 to the bank, negative 6x, but I have 7x on me. So if I give them the 6 that I owe, I have 1 left. So 1x, but 1x is the same thing as x, right? There's an invisible 1 there. Then I'm gonna bring down the plus 21. I'm gonna go ahead and move the positive 21 to the other side by subtracting it because it's the opposite. Bring down the x, right? $20 and I spent 21, I owe the bank 1. So we get negative 1 equals x, which is the same thing as x equals negative 1. And then to finish out this problem, we'll check it, right? Because I'm sure you guys are still writing the steps. Now, if someone did it the other way where you put x's on the left side, you should get the same solution as I did. Because even though different routes were taken, the destination will always be the same. So now if we're checking it, we'll have 17 take away 7 parentheses negative 1 plus 3 equals question mark negative 3 times negative 1 plus 21 minus 3 times negative 1. Well, 2 negatives, guys, makes a positive, right? Negative 7 times negative 1, that's plus 7. Bring down the plus 3 equals negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3 plus 21. A negative 3 times a negative 1 is a positive 3 again. So combining those, 17 plus 7 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Over here, we had 3 plus 21 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Read this statement, 27 equals 27. That is true. Therefore, confirming that negative 1 is the solution. And if we submitted that as our answer on the homework, we will get a well done. Great job. Any questions on solving the equation or any questions on checking the solution? Speak now. Because you are going to have a practice problem coming up shortly. All right. Anyone need more time to write this down before I move on? All right, I'm gonna move on. All right, here's your practice problem, guys. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes on this bad boy. 3 minutes. Good luck. All right, guys, that was 3 minutes. Would anyone like additional time? Anyone? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 minutes to the timer. After you have your solution, make sure you type in the chat y equals, but do not press enter yet. Okay, get ready for add 2 minutes to the timer. Good luck. And make sure we're doing this by hand, guys, using the same stuff we did in class. Do not use any type of help right now, any type of technology or apps. Just try to do it on your own. This is the point of the class, so good luck. All right, guys, that was the timer. So go ahead and press enter on your solution now. All right. All right. So we have y equals negative 55, y equals negative 55. And we got y equals negative 55. You're correct. Does anyone have any questions on this? Now checking it will be the same thing, but the math of it's gonna be a little annoying. So I'm gonna go ahead and work it out per someone's request. So let's say I'm gonna go ahead and draw the line down the equal sign. All right, guys, on the left side, can anyone tell me what we can combine on the left side here? And what do you get? Remember, this is a practice problem, so I would appreciate y'all's support completing this problem, since examples are my responsibility. What about? So anyone, what do we do on the left side? What can we combine? What like terms do y'all notice?
I did 40 plus 5,
Which gives you?
45.
Correct. Good, good, good. What about the right side? What can we combine on the right side?
The negative 2y and the negative 4y.
And gives you what when you combine those two y's?
6.
What kind of 6?
A negative.
Yes, a negative 6y. Good job, good job, good job. All right. Now, who would like to share the next step? Or multiple steps, right? But which one would y'all did someone take from here?
I subtracted the negative 5y from the left-hand side and subtracted it from the, also from the right-hand side from the negative 6y.
So you subtracted the 5y, is that what you said?
Sorry, I'm sorry, I added it, I added it, sorry.
Okay, good. Great correction. I'm glad you caught yourself. Thank you. I'm sure you did it on your paper correctly, right? But the fact that you're
I
able to
did
see
it.
it.
I looked down and it was the wrong, I looked down, yeah.
No, I figured. So trust me, it's happened. It's normal to say the opposite of what you wrote, you know. So we cancel out the y's, right? And then what did you do? What was the next step when you simplified this?
I brought down the 45. And then
Okay.
I brought down a negative y, it was negative 1y, but it's negative y.
Yep.
And then I brought down the subtracted 10.
Good. Would you like to finish it off? What's next?
Okay, so then I added 10 to the right-hand side, and then I added 10 to the left-hand side. To the 45.
Okay. And then we get 55 equals negative y.
Yep, and then I divided 1y, negative 1, and then negative 1, which gave me negative 55.
Correct. Great job, Tanya. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your help. Good.
I had a question, sir, because I see what I did wrong. I did the 6y and moved it over instead of moving the 5y over.
No, but that's the thing, though. You could actually move the 6y. Here, let me get a different color. So let me rewrite this step, because your step was different from here, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about what you did, all right? Because this is what I was waiting for. So how did you move the negative 6y?
I did plus 6y.
Good. And when we do to one side, we do to the other. Right, like that? Is that what you did?
Yes.
So tell me what you did. So now what happens to the 6's here?
I did negative 6 plus 6y.
So that cancels out, right?
Yes.
So now what did you bring down the next step?
The negative 5 plus 6.
Which gives you what? Negative 5 plus 6 gives you?
Negative, I'm sorry, my audio, I had trouble with it.
No, you're good.
Negative 5 plus 6 is 1.
1, right? 1 what? Don't forget the
Yes.
1y. Okay, good. And then what do we do with the rest? What do you bring down?
And then I brought down the 45 and the -10.
Good. Keep going.
And then it's -45 I did, and then I did to the other side too.
Good. Right. The 45 is cancel, right? What's left alone?
The 1y.
The 1y. Can I just write y?
Yes.
Yes, right. So what's -10 take away 45?
-55.
And did we get the same solution as Tanya?
Yes.
Yes, we did. So the reason why I did the blue steps as well is to show you the other route, to show you, hey, we could take different routes in mathematics sometimes and still get the same destination. We got the same solution. So are there any questions or comments about the different routes to take? As long as you're doing the correct algebra steps, right? You're adding when you're subtracting, like you do if you're multiplying, you divide. That's very crucial that we're doing the correct opposite operation. Any questions on solving on this practice problem, guys? Any questions at all? This slide, this example where we did the purple and the blue is one of my main reasons why mathematics is my passion. Is that there's multiple avenues one can take and still get the right solution. That is one of my personal reasons why math is my passion. So example 3, guys, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to set this up into your notebook. 1 minute. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. So first things first, draw the line down the equal sign. Sorry, my tablet's acting up. All right. So, what's the property on the left-hand side that you notice, guys? That's 7 in parentheses.
Is it the distributive product?
Yeah, the distributive property. We're gonna draw an arrow from the 7 to the x and a 7 to the -2. And we're gonna multiply. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times -2 is -14. Bring down the 9x minus 6 because they're not like terms, so there's nothing to simplify further. And now we manipulate this equation to get x on one side and numbers on the other. So I'm gonna go ahead. Now that I know there's more than one route to take, anyone want to tell me which route to take? Which one do y'all want me to move? Move the 7x or move the 9x? First one to say it, I'll do it.
9.
Let's move the 9. So the opposite of 9x is -9.
Yeah.
Good. And when we do the one side, we do to the other. The 9s cancel out. Bring down the -6. Make sure you bring down the correct leftover, right? If I make this a +6, the whole thing will be wrong. Bring down the -14. 7 take away 9. I owe 2x. Now, the opposite, now we gotta go ahead and get x by itself, right? So to manipulate the 2x to get by itself, I have to move the 14 first. So I'm gonna add 14 on both sides. So So then I bring down the negative 2x equals, I owed the bank 6, but I put 14 in, so now I have $8 for myself. I divide by negative 2, so then I get x equals negative 4. And we're done. Good job, Joshua. Yes, sir. It would be negative 4. If you guys were able to work out the solution and get to the right solution without following my notes or example or steps, good job. That is the goal, right? The goal is for you to get that confidence to work on your own. Any questions so far in example 3?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So because it was positive 9, that's why we subtracted the 9x.
That is correct. And if it was a negative 9x, how would we have moved it then?
We would add 9x.
That is correct. Yes, ma'am. Great response.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions before you work out your practice problem, guys? Any questions at all? All right. Here's your practice problem. I'm gonna give y'all 4 minutes on here. Good luck. All right, that was 4 minutes, guys. Go ahead and place your answer in the chat. Nice, correct, guys. If you got A equals 17, you are correct. Anyone have any questions or would like for me to work this one out before we move on? Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and work it out. So, all right, guys. So the first property, go ahead. Remember, it's practice. I would like someone else to intervene and tell me what's up. So first things first, draw a line down the equal sign. Can someone please tell me what steps they took to get the solution?
You're gonna multiply
The what?
the 6 and the A and the 6 and the 5.
Good. 6 times A was what?
Just 6.
Good. What was 6 times -5?
Negative 30.
Good. And what do we do with the right side?
Bring it down.
Good. And then what did you do next?
Then I did 6A. Wait, hold on. Let me lose myself.
You're good. You're good.
I did the 4. I did the -4, and then I moved it over to under the 6A.
Good. Like this?
Yes, and then the 6A plus -4 got me 2,
Okay, good.
and then I brought down the -30, and then the 4A and the -4 cancels out, and then bring down the 4,
Good.
and then I did plus 30, and then I did onto the 4, and then the -30 and the plus 30 cancels out, and then 40 plus 30 is 34,
Good.
and then bring down the 2A,
Okay.
and then I did plus 2A. I mean -2A. I'm sorry.
Ah, but A is already by itself. So if you do a -2A, you're gonna move over.
Oh, okay. So it's plus 2A.
And if you add 2A, you're just gonna move it. So if you do plus 2A, you're gonna add 2A over here, but 2A plus 2A is 4A. It doesn't cancel that out. So the plus or the minus isn't the correct step. Remember, our goal is to get what letter by itself?
The A.
A, right? So now the real question is what's happening with this 2 and this A that we don't see? What operation's happening here with 2A?
Multiply?
Yeah, they're being multiplied, right? And the opposite of multiplication?
You're gonna divide.
You're gonna divide by 2. Because remember that we're unwrapping the A, right? So we're getting rid of that 2. So what we do don't want to each other. So 2 divided by 2, what happens to my 2's here now?
They cancel out.
There you go. And then we bring down the A, and then we do 34 divided by 2, right? Which gives you the what?
17.
There you go. Good job.
Oh,
Thank you.
I think that's why I messed up, because I had got -17.
Ah, you did the -2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you but you got -17, which means you still divide it, which is great. But now you see why we divide by the same number. Because if you divide by a -2, if you divide by a -2, like 2 divided by -2, that doesn't cancel out. That gives you -1. So that's why you got the 17, -17 there too, but that wouldn't be fully right because 2 divided by, you wanted to make sure that it's the same thing. So when you divide it, you can just cancel them out because it gives you 1. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So thank you for your participation. Thank you. Does that make sense though?
Yes, I see what I did wrong. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, let's move on, guys. Now here are some steps for solving equations, guys. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes to copy these down. This kind of is like an ingredients list on what to do on solving an equation, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes on this slide, and then we'll move on. Would anyone like additional time on this slide?
Yes, please.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple minutes, two more minutes. All right, those were 2 more minutes. Would anyone like more time than given? Last call. Are we good to move on, or anyone still ready? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Here is example 4. Give you guys 1 minute to set this up into your notebook. All right, let's take a look at example 4. Solve the equation, check your solution. So first, follow step 1. It says do distribution and you see it. Do y'all see it? Yes, we do. It's right here with the 3. So draw your 3 down, your arrows from the 3 to the 2x. Then it'll be from the 3 to the -6. And draw your line down the equal sign. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times -6 is -18. Bring down the +6 equals 0. Combine your like terms now, step 2. -18 plus 6 is -12 equals 0. Then we use the addition property to move the number to the other side. So the opposite of -12 is +12. Put it over here. So then bring down the 6x equals +12. Then we use the multiplication property to divide by 6. Then we get x equals 2. And we're done. Any questions on the steps that I took on solving this equation? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. Practice problem. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes on this one. Good luck. All right, guys. So what did y'all get for this practice problem? Excellent, guys. X equals 0. That is correct. Any questions on what we did on this practice problem, guys? Any questions, concerns, or anyone want me to work it out? Yes, I can. All right. So remember, this is a practice problem, so someone does need to tell me the steps, and I'll just be the scriber, the walker, the writer. So who would like to volunteer this time? How did y'all get the solution? Now you have the steps that I gave you a couple slides ago, right? So what was the first thing we do?
You multiply 4 times x and 4 by 3.
Good. 4 times x gave you what?
4x,
4 times 3 gave you what?
positive 12.
Now what did you do with the rest?
And then you bring down the +1 and the 13.
Okay, what's next?
And then your like terms, combine them.
Which
So
ones are like?
12 plus 1, which is 13.
Good.
And then because it's a positive 13, you do minus 13 on both sides.
Good. This one cancels, but on the right, what's 13 take away 13?
0.
Good.
Okay, and then you divide 4 by both sides.
Good. And then what was 0 divided by 4?
0.
Correct. Good job, Priscilla. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Any questions so far? Kayla, did you follow Priscilla's steps on the things we did to get the solution?
Yes. I had the whole format. I was just confused because I had 4x equals 0. I didn't know what to do with that at that point.
Okay.
now I
No,
see that
no.
Right.
Okay. Okay, good, good, good. And then you can see that even though 0 is not a typical number we're used to seeing, 0 is still a number nonetheless, right? So
Yeah.
no, I've been there. So now do you feel comfortable in case you see 0 again in an equation?
Yes.
Good, good, good. All
Thank
right.
you.
No, thank you. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and write. This section of notes is writing numerical sentences as equations. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 4 or 5 minutes to write up that chart and write example 5. So now we're gonna convert sentences into equations now, not expressions, equations. All right, and we'll talk about it after you finish writing it out. 5 minutes. All right, is anyone still setting up the chart or the example? Anyone need more time before I start working it out? All right, if there's no one needing more time, I'll go ahead and jump into it. So these are some keywords and phrases that you need to be on the lookout in this sentence in case you want to make an equation from it, right? So we have equals, gives, so 3 equals 2 plus 1. So it'll be 3 equals 2 plus 1. Gives, the quotient of 10 and -5 gives -2. So the quotient of 10 over -5 gives -2. Or 17 minus 12 is 5. So 17 take away 12 is 5. And so on, right? You can see where the word is at in the example and how it will look like in symbols. So before we move on, let's go ahead and look at example 5, right? So example 5 says, to translate each sentence into an equation. So let's go ahead and do A first. A says the product of 7 and 6. So product is multiplication, right? So 7 and 6. So we're going to multiply those two is, so that is the equal sign 42. Now let's take a look at B. B says twice the sum of 3 and 5 is equal to 16. So twice is times 2. The sum of 3 and 5, so the sum of 3 and 5, so 3 plus 5, sum is addition, is equal to 16. The quotient of -45, so C is the quotient of -45 and 5 yields -9. All right, are there any questions on what I did for example 5, guys? Any questions at all? All right, here is your next set of practice problems. All right, practice 5. Go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes on these. All right. Anyone want to tell me what they got for A? For the equation? So the difference of 110 and 80 is 30. Any volunteers?
110 minus 80 equals 30.
110 minus 80 is equals 30. That is correct. All right, all right. That was a good one. Anyone want to take a hit at B? Nice, Priscilla and Jacob. So the product of 3, right? And the sum of -9 plus 11 amounts to 6. You're right. What about C, guys? Anyone want to share?
24 over -6 equals -4.
24 over -6 yields equals -4. That is correct. Thank you, Jacob. Anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding practice 5? All right, let's go ahead and move on. So we're on 3.4 now, the final section of chapter 3, guys. Now this is the same chart I had you write in the beginning of the semester, and when we were learning how to write expressions, words into expressions. So I'm gonna go ahead and, but since this is a new section, I'm gonna go ahead and give everyone a 5-minute break. Starting now. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Math 410, everyone. Hopefully everyone enjoyed their break, their short-lived break. Remember, we do have a lot to do this week, so let's get back into it. Let me go ahead and give you guys, it's a lot to write. Well, it's a lot of words, so I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all guys about, I want to say 4 minutes to set this up. Now, remember that this chart was drawn into your notebook already. If you would like to redraw it again to have it as a second time resource, go ahead. Go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and work out example 1. All right, class. Let's go ahead and jump into example 1. So these are examples. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. The directions say write each sentence as an equation. Use X to represent a number. A, 20 increase by a number, increase by addition, a number is X. The word is equal sign and then 5. So 20 increased by a number is 5. B, twice a number equals -10. Twice is times 2. A number is 2 times x, right? Or 2x equals -10. C, a number, which is x, minus 11 amounts to 168. D, 3 times the sum of a number and 5 is -30. E, the quotient of twice a number and 8 is equal to 2. The quotient, so quotient is twice a number, so 2x over twice a number and 8 is equal to 2. So just to show you what I mean, so I'm gonna highlight in yellow all the equals terms. So that gives us this symbol here. The right side is, after that, was on the right side of the equal sign here, you know. This is right here. After the equal sign. And then you just do the left side with what operation they have, right? So the yellow should have been right here, actually. So yeah, and then you keep going. So does anyone have any questions about these examples, guys? On why I did what from the words? Speak now. If you think of one, please type it in the chat or unmute yourself. I'm going to move over to the practice problems. Ready? Your job is to do the same thing for these problems here. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 5 minutes. Good luck. All right, guys, let's take a look at the practice problems. I'm gonna go ahead and get out a pen. A. Anyone want to share what they got for A? 4 times a number is 20.
4 times x equals 20.
That is correct. Good job, good job. All right. Anyone would like to share B?
X plus -5 equals 32.
X plus -5 equals 32. That is correct again. C. Who would like to share what they got for C? Now remember, if I don't get anyone to volunteer, I will call on someone. So take your pick.
15 minus x equals -23.
You said 15 minus X equals -23. Is that what you got?
Yes.
Okay. Did everyone else get this too? So far, no objections.
Yeah, I object.
What did you get?
C is x minus 15 equals 23.
Okay. And this is right, Jacob? Is that what you got?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and read C again. So I'm gonna tell you A is right and B is right. There is another way to write B though that's just as correct as this, but we won't get to B yet. So C, I'm gonna read C. 15 subtracted from a number amounts to -23. So Jacob, the only thing you have wrong in your answer is you've read the -23. But now let's look at the 15 subtracted. So 15 is going to be subtracted from something, not 15 subtract a number. So if the word from was not there, guys, if this was not there, then at that point, then 15 subtracted a number would be 15 take away X. But it doesn't say it has the word from. That from switches the order. Remember your notes from when we started doing these lessons. So the top one is not right. So Tana, do you see the difference? The keyword of the from, how it changes it?
Yeah, I see. Thank you.
Okay. Good. So D. Anyone want to share what they got for D?
Five parentheses x -7 parentheses equals -8.
Okay, good. Anyone disagree or agree with this? Good. So far, you are correct. C and D are on the right track. Last but not least, E. Would anyone like to share what they got for E? It says the quotient of triple a number and 5 gives 1. Anyone for E?
Three x divided by 5 equals 1.
3x divided by 5 equals 1. Anyone agree or disagree with this answer before I reveal if it's right or wrong? The quotient of triple a number and 5 gives 1. Thank you, Nicholas. So if you agree, that is correct, guys. 3x over 5 equals 1. what questions do we have so far on the steps we took for practice 1? Can anyone want to tell me what's another way to write b that means the same thing? X plus -5 equals 32. Anyone have an idea? For b, there's another way to write b.
I put x minus 15 equals -23. Oh, sorry, excuse me. X plus 5 equals 32.
You put x plus 5 equals 32. Is that what you did?
Yes.
Okay. So now the key here to get the other way is look at the symbols here, plus a negative. Guys, when we add a negative number, if I told you, hey, let's add -$10 to our account, adding negative money to your account is the same thing as what? You're going to lose that money that you put in, right? Because it's negative. So it's not adding, it actually should be a subtraction sign, Jacob. Because you're adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting a number, okay? So the other way to write it is x minus 5 equals, because it says the sum is addition, right? But we're adding a negative number to it. So yes, you could write x plus -5, but the other way to write it is x minus 5 equals 32, because adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting.
Right, but either way is good, correct?
Yes, either way is good. That is correct.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. So these are some problems. So what I want you to do is, these are problem solving steps. So I'm gonna go ahead, and it's a lot to write. So I'm gonna go ahead and I want you to write these steps out, because problem solving is literally the foundation of math. So if you can problem solve in real life, you can problem solve in math. And if you can problem solve in math, you can problem solve in life. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 5 minutes to write this into your notebook. It is a lot of write words, so I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Good luck. And make sure you number the steps as well. All right, I'm going to read each one. So the first step in problem solving is understand the problem. During this step, becoming comfortable with the problem. Some ways of doing this are as follows. Read and reread the problem. Same concept as reading directions, right? And when you're going on the GPS. Another way is construct a drawing or propose a solution and check. Pay careful to how you check your solution because that may help you write an equation to model the problem. Choose a variable to represent the unknown. Use this variable to represent any other unknown. Step 2, translate the problem into an equation. So pretty much these problem solving are going to be pretty much to show you translate the problem. So some problems can be written into an equation. Step 3, solve the equation. Step 4, interpret the results and check the proposed solution in the stated problem and state your conclusion. All right, we're gonna go ahead and try these steps out, right? So, and here's our first word problem, example 2. I'm gonna give you guys 2 minutes to write this down because it is a whole sentence, 2 sentences, so good luck.
Can you go back?
Yes.
'Cause I'm almost finished copying that.
Oh, okay, let me know when you're good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, here's example 2, guys. 2 minutes timer to get this example written into your journal before I work it out. All right, so let's look at this example. So this is the most basic word problem I could think of. So finding an unknown number. The word problem says twice a number plus 3 is the same as the number minus 6. Find the unknown number. So let's look at the word problem again. Twice a number, okay. Oh, that's just pretty much algebra and words. Let's write it as symbols. Twice a number is 2 times x plus 3. Plus 3 is the same as, is equal to a number minus 6. Find the unknown number, which we called x. So let's go ahead and solve for x. Subtract x on both sides. So then we get 2x, take away x, which is x plus 3 equals -6. Subtract 3 on both sides. So then we get x equals -9. And we're done. Any questions from the converting from words to symbols and to solving? Any questions at all? All right, let's go move on. Here is another practice problem, guys. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes on this one. Good luck. All right. Would anyone like just tell me their setup for practice two? What symbols did you create from the words?
I got x plus 2
Okay.
equals
Mm-hmm.
6 plus parentheses 3x parentheses.
All right. So far, so good. So this will be this the same thing though. With you can actually get rid of the parentheses and mean the same thing. But great job, Jacob. Okay, now let's go ahead and solve for x. Anyone want to share with me their steps on how they got x by themselves?
I did 3x minus x on the right side. And then it gave me 2x.
Okay,
So then to rewrite it, I got 2 equals 6 plus 2x.
good.
And then
Okay,
I subtracted the 6 from both sides,
okay,
which gave me -4 on the left, and then equal and 2x. And then
okay.
I divided on each side by 2, which I got -2.
Excellent job. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Good job. These are both correct, guys. The problem and the solution, guys. Now, question: do you think if someone wrote an incorrect equation, they can still get the correct solution? What do you think? No. If you write the wrong equation, do not expect the right solution. Okay. This is a two-parter. You want to always make sure you get the two parts right: the original translation and the work for the solution. All right, doing great, guys. Now we're gonna skip this word problem. Well, actually, no, we're not. It's just this is a lot to write, but I'm unfortunately you are gonna have problems like this on your homework, and I'd rather show it to you in this class. So I'm gonna give you about 4 minutes to write this word problem. Okay, 4 minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Oh, all right, class. So hopefully everyone had enough time to write this word problem down. And Jacob mentioned the road from Chicago to LA is Route 66. Interesting. I did not know that. All right. So none of this is algebraic, right? There's no solve for X, set it up. It's all different, right? It's just as actual word, a real life scenario. So let's read the problem, right? So the distance by road from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California is 1,091 miles more than the distance from Chicago to Boston, Massachusetts. Now, if the total of these two distances is 3,017 miles, find the distance from Chicago to Boston. Interesting. So I'm the teacher and I am like, what? Okay, so I want you to understand it's okay to read a problem and not understand where to go or where to start, right? So remember that our problem solving techniques, right? Understand what it's asking us to do. So we can read the whole thing again. My biggest thing is the last sentence here where it says, find the distance from Chicago to Boston. That's our end term. So remember in our step one of the options is to, label an unknown variable to something. Well, guess what? The distance from Chicago to Boston, guys, that's going to be our X, right? The distance from Chicago to Boston is going to be X. So, and we know the total of two distances is 3,017 miles. So what are the two distances we know? So let's look at the first sentence. The distance, so I'm going to write the distance from Chicago, Illinois to LA, California. So that is one thing, the distance of, right there, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight that. So the distance by road, I'm taking away some of the words. This right here is 1,009 miles. Guys, what symbol in algebra is? It's an equal sign. So what do we do? What does that mean? So this is telling us the first line that I highlighted yellow, the distance by road from Chicago to LA. So distance from Chicago to LA is, which is equal sign, 1,091 miles more than. Can someone tell me what operation is more than? It's plus. It's more than the what? The distance from Chicago to Boston. If the total of these two distances is 3,017 miles, find the distance from Chicago to Boston. So everyone can agree that this over here, the blue distance from Chicago to Boston, that's X. I'm gonna put parentheses around that. I'm gonna put an X on top of that. That's X, right? The distance from Chicago to Boston. So this whole phrase is X. Now let's look at the second sentence. If the total of these two distances is 3,017, total of these two distances, guys. So I'm gonna highlight my distances in pink. So this is one distance. And then this is my other distance. These two added up give me what? 3017. So I'm gonna write the distance from Chicago to LA plus the distance from Chicago to Boston. Those two distances add up to what? How many total miles? 3017. But we know this parentheses right here, this is just X. That's what we want to find, right? So the next line, this is going to be plus X right here. I'm replacing these words now with X equals 3017. Now here, all right, my headphones are running out. I'm going to go ahead and
Yes. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Hello, can you guys hear me? My AirPods died, so I'm back to the laptop audio. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Thank you, thank you. All right. So now I'm gonna bring down this distance, right, from Chicago to LA. But guess what? Didn't we say that the distance from Chicago to LA is equal to 1091 plus X? Yeah, we did. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that here. So this is gonna be the same thing as 1091 plus X. Because it's up here. The distance from Chicago to LA is equal to this mess here. And remember this pink over here to the right side is X, right? Don't forget that. And so it's 1091 plus X. So we're replacing this with that. So now we have an equation, a mathematical equation, believe that. Now we solve for it, which we know how to do. Combine like terms on the left side, X plus X is 2X. So now we just need to get X by itself. So subtract 1091 on both sides. So then we get 2X equals, so it's gonna be 3017 minus 1091 equals 1926. Divide both sides by 2, giving us X equals 963 miles, which is what we wanted to find, right? We wanted to find X, the distance from Chicago to Boston. What questions does anyone have on any of the steps we did right now? All right, so there is no questions. Let's go ahead and move on. So I'm gonna keep this practice problem and I want you to do this because you are gonna see problems like this on the 3.4 homework, okay? word problems, and I need you to be exposed to it. So I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes on this one. Good luck. All right, guys. All right, all right. I know 5 minutes probably wasn't enough, but anyone want to talk about their process and see where they're at right now to see how everyone else compares to them? Or did anyone get an answer yet? Or who would like more time to try it out before I take over? Okay, so there's no objections to me taking over. So let's talk about this problem. So the distance. So the answer I did get an answer individually. Let me respond to that person real quick. So it's like it's a word problem, right? So what is it asking? So the distance by road from Cincinnati, Ohio to Denver, Colorado is 71 miles less than the distance from Denver to San Francisco, California. If the total of these two distances is 2399 miles, find the distance from Denver to San Francisco. So right there, guys, reading the whole thing, which distances from the two is our x? What is the unknown that we're trying to find?
Denver to San Francisco.
Yeah, the distance from Denver to San Francisco. That is our x. So wherever we see that in an equation, we're going to be putting x. So now let's go ahead and read the first part of the problem. The distance by road from Cincinnati to Denver, Colorado. And then we have the word is. So we can say that the distance, we can say that the distance from, and I'm going to shorten it from Cincinnati, so CIN to Denver. That is 71 miles less than the distance. So it's gonna be 71 miles less than Denver. So it's gonna be distance from Denver to San Fran minus 71. So we're gonna, because it's less than that, whatever this distance is, 71 miles less than the distance from Denver to San Fran. But remember, guys, this whole mess here is what letter? Is x. We know that the distance from Cincinnati to Denver is x minus 71. That's what this equals to. Now we know these two distances add up to what? 2399. So this is one distance is x. Another distance is x minus 71. So we know these two added, x plus x minus 71 equals 2399. Now, above this, if you wanted to do the word, you could do the distance from Denver to San Fran plus the distance from Cincinnati to Denver equals 2399. Here, I just skipped that step and just went to the algebra step. Now we solve for x. X plus x is 2x. Minus 71 equals 2399. Add 71 on both sides. Then we get 2x equals, this is 10, add that, 10 is 17. So it's 2470. 2x equals 2470. Next, we divide both sides by 2 to get x alone, which is 1235 miles. And we're done. Does anyone have any questions on the steps that I took to solve for X? All right, there's no questions, guys. So now let's go ahead and move forward. Last example, guys, the last example. I'll go ahead and give you 3 minutes to write this one down. All right, let's take a look at example 4, guys. The last one of 3.4. A salesperson at an electronics store sold a computer system and software for $2,100, receiving 4 times as much money for the computer system than for the software. Find the price of each. So let's look at, so you're a salesperson. We sold what did we sell? For how much? we sold a computer system. And software, so and is like plus, right? We sold both of these and we sold them for 2,100 each. But we do know we got 4 times as much money. 4 times as money for the computer system than the software. So at that point, so the software I would call X, right? Because it says here we receive 4 times as much money for the computer system, 4 times the amount of money than the software itself, right? And everyone can see that we pay 4 times as much money for the computer system than the software. So the software was $20, we paid $80 for the computer system, right? That's how I would label these in my head. And you would have to reread these until you can make sense of the wording here. So then we're adding it. And now it's an algebraic equation. 4x plus x is 5x equals 2,100. Divide both sides by 5. And then we do 2,100 divided by 5, which is x equals 420. And we're done. And that's the price for the software because X is software. So software is 420. And remember 4X, we want to know the computer system. So we do 420 times 4, which is 1680. And now we have the price for both machines. Any questions on what I did here?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me though, because it's $2,100, 2 items, so you would divide that by 2. And then since it's
Ah.
multiplied times 4, wouldn't you divide that by 4?
Not necessarily, because right here, so let me break it down. So it says here the software, we know a salesperson at an electronics store sold a computer system and software for 2,100. That explains this right here. So do you agree with that first equation? Computer system plus software equals 2,100.
Right.
So you said divide by 2 right away, but you're assuming if you divide by 2, you're assuming that these two are both the same price. So we can't really divide 2,100 by 2 because this is the software isn't 1,050, the computer system isn't 1,050, right?
But it says as for software,
So now let's read
same
the
as.
let's read the second half,
Sure.
right? So it says
Hold on.
yes. Okay, so let's look at this next part. So receiving 4 times as much money. So something's gonna be multiplied by what?
4.
4 times, right? But what is, right? Let's read the next part. For the what? 4 times money for the what?
The computer system as for the software.
As for the software. So if you were to give me a number, so if the software, so 4 times as much money for the computer system. So which one are we paying more for, the computer system or the software?
Well, I mean, that's how I'm reading that. I'm reading that as you're paying 4 times as much for both.
No.
As for the software.
So it's saying that it's paying 4 times as much for the computer system than as for the software. So which one are we paying more for, the computer system or the software?
Right. I get how you're wording it now, but you know what I mean? Like as for, that tells me there's both of them are the same as for, you know.
So yeah, so I want you to, yes, so I know how you're processing the wording and you're not wrong. I understand, but let's look at it one more time. So it says 4 times as many 4. So we know that one item is gonna be paid 4 times more, which we know is the first 4 is for the what? the computer system, right? So what do we multiply 4 to though, right? 4 times what money though? For what cost are we paying 4 times more? Well, we know computer system would be 4 times something, but something is what? What's that something? That's where the second as for the software comes in. That second item that we're paying 4 times more from is from the software itself. That's why we include that part there, is to tell us, well, guess what? The computer system is gonna be paid 4 times something. Well, as for the software is that something. So we're gonna pay 4 times as much for the computer system for the software. So if the software was X dollars, then at that point the computer system will be 4X, because it's 4 times whatever the software is, right? And at the end of the day, they want us to find the price of each. So if the computer system is 4 times something, and that's something we don't know, right? Which, so we're gonna call that something X. Plus whatever the software is X. We don't know what software is. And we know computer system is 4 times as much money as the software, then. So I think, Jacob, with your reasoning, I think that what would make this a lot easier
Yeah,
is
the
if,
as for is what got me because of,
yeah,
English, that's the
yeah,
same as,
so,
you know.
yeah, so I don't think, what if the word for wasn't there, that would change it up a little bit better, right?
Exactly, yeah. As and as for makes, yeah.
As the software, right? So 4 times as much money for the computer system as the software.
Yeah, thank you. That's what got me that second for.
No, you're right. As when I read it without the format, oh, that makes more sense. See, okay, but I've done this example before, so that's why I know what to do. But you bring up a very valid point. Thank you, sir. Anyone have any questions on what we just did right now? All right. Last practice problem. Go ahead and give you guys 5 minutes. All right, that was the timer. Would anyone like to share their answers for this practice problem?
Like X is one portion and the husband gets two and the son
Right.
gets one.
It's X plus 2X equals 57,000.
Okay. And what'd you get for X? So X represents who? The son of the husband.
The son,
Good. And then 2X is the,
the husband, yeah,
so how much does
And-
the son get?
he gets 1/3.
Which
What's
is,
the amount of the actual?
Oh, I'm sorry,
So,
the
so
husband gets,
to divide it, to get the, just finish that equation right there.
yeah, solved out the equation, right? So
nine
go ahead.
19,000, sorry,
No, you're good. My bad. 19,000. And how much does the husband get?
38.
And if you got 19 and 838, you are correct. Good job, Jacob. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. So that is it for 3.4, and that's it. So it's gonna be it's gonna cover all these sections, 8 sections. There's 25 questions. We did the review. We do have about an hour left of class time, so I would like to use that rest of the hour to finish off the review, because remember we had started it that other Monday. So I'm going to go to the review here on my presentation here, and I know we stopped, I want to say right here. Did we work out 17, 18, and 19 on the review, guys? Can someone check their notebook for me?
Yes,
Okay, so we did all 3.
yes, we did.
Okay, so we're on here. We're gonna go ahead and finish off the review in the rest of this lesson. And once I finish off the review, I'll take roll call, and after roll call, I'll dismiss class. All right,
Actually, I didn't have 19 on mine. I think we stopped at 19.
okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do 19.
Thank you.
So we're doing 19. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 2 minutes to set that up, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, now that we finished chapter 3, do y'all feel who feels a little better about handling 19 now? All right, so let's take a look at 19. Can someone tell me the name of the property we're going to be applying to be able to simplify 19?
Distributive,
Yeah, distributive property. So we're going to distribute the -7 to these two and then the 5 to these two. -7 times x is -7x. -7 times -1 is a +7. 5 times 2x is a +10x. 5 times 3 is a +15. Now that we distributed, how do we simplify? What can we do now? Anyone like to share?
Combine your like terms.
We combine like terms. Can anyone tell me which ones we can combine here?
-7x and 10x,
Correct, which gives us what?
3x,
Correct. And now what are the other like terms you see?
7 and 15,
And when you combine those, what does that give you?
22.
And we are done. Because can we combine 3x and 22?
No.
That is correct. Thank you. Are there any questions on the steps we took for 19? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Solve the equation 20, 21, 22. So I'm gonna write down number 20. So it'll be, I'm gonna write it down first, right? -6y minus 1 plus 7y equals 17 plus 2. Go ahead and give you guys a minute to write this down. All right, anyone want to share what we do for this problem here? So first draw the line on the equal sign, right? So what can we do on each side first before we manipulate it? We combine like terms. On the right side, 17 plus 2 gives us 19. On the left side, we can combine 7y minus 6y, which is just y, bring down the -1. Get y by itself now, so we add 1 on both sides. Then we get y equals 20, and we're done with 20. 21. 21 is 13x equals 4 parentheses 3x minus 1. Can anyone tell me what's the first thing we do on number 21?
distribute,
Yeah, we distribute. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times -1 is -4. Bring down the 13x. Get x on one side, so I'm going to subtract 12x. What I do to one, I do to the other. Cancels out. 13 take away 12 is just x, or 1x. Bring down the -4, and we're done. 22. We have 7x plus 12 equals 3x minus 4. Now remember, goal is to get x on one side, so I'm gonna subtract the 3x as it's positive. Cancels out. 7 take away 3 is 4x. Then we have plus 12 equals negative 4. Then we subtract 12 on both sides, right? Because we want to get x by itself. So bring down the 4x equals negative 4 minus 12 is negative 16. Then we divide both sides by 4, so we get x equals negative 4. And we're done. Any questions on solving the equations here? These are all examples we've seen in our notes already, right? And I did send the Word document of the review, I believe, so you can have the paper as well, so you can see the problems again. All right. Let's go ahead and finish out the review. So 23, write each phrase as an algebraic expression. Use X to represent a number. Here are the key phrases, A, B, and C. I'm gonna give y'all 4 minutes or 3 minutes to write these down before I jump into it. All right, guys, so help me out with A. A is 8 increased by a number. What expression is that?
8 plus X.
8 plus X, that's correct. For B, the quotient of a number and 7. So it's gonna be a fraction. So what's on top and what's on bottom?
X over 7.
Correct again. C, the sum of 10 and twice a number. Anyone?
10 plus 2x.
10 plus 2x. Correct again. Good job, guys. If this was a game show, you would be moving on to the next round. Any questions on any of these examples for 23? Let's go ahead and finish off, right? Here are the final two problems. Write the phrase into an equation and then solve it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 4 minutes to work these out, or 5 minutes, because this is word problems. 5 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and try it out, okay? So 25 or 24 first. But I'm gonna give you all 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and we'll work them out, okay? All right, let's take a look at 24. Twice a number plus 3 is the same as the number minus 6. Anyone want to take a jab at it? For 24, writing the equation first. Twice the number is 2 times x or 2x plus 3 is the same as a number minus 6. Don't forget that the is the same as is the same thing as what symbol here? The equal sign, okay? Do you see that, Joshua? Yeah, it's okay, dude. But there you go. You're on the right track though. That's how you have both of them there. You just need to separate them by an equal sign. And now we just solve for x, guys. Anyone want to tell me the steps they did to solve for x? What do you move first? What could you move? You can subtract x on both sides. So then we get x plus 3 equals -6. Subtract 3 on both sides. So then we get x equals -9, and we're done. Now let's look at number 25. 20 subtracted from 3 times the number is 8 more than the number. So 20 is being subtracted from, so it's gonna be -20, right? Is being subtracted from where? 3 times the number, so 3x. Is 8 more than the number. So now we solve for x. Subtract x on both sides. So then we get 2x minus 20 equals 8. Add 20 on both sides. So we get 2x equals 28. Divide by both sides by 2. So we get x equals 14. And we're done. Any questions on these review problems, guys? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a roll call, guys. I'm going to stop recording here.